Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Tickers. Today we're going to do a deep dive into IGT.
International Game Technology.
Yeah, International Game Technology. Their Q3 2024 earnings call just dropped. You got the transcript. And, obviously this is a company that we follow closely. And we have some thoughts about IGT and the global stock market in general, so this will be fun. Let's jump right in.
No, I think the first thing that jumps out to me is that IGT is kind of reinventing themselves. They're selling off their gaming and digital business to Apollo, which means they're going all in on lotteries.
Yeah, so they're streamlining their operations.
Yeah.
They're even calling it Optima 3.0, which I guess is their way of saying they're cutting costs and getting more efficient. And they're putting all those saved resources into iLottery and printing instant tickets.
Okay.
So apparently scratch-offs are still a thing. Who knew?
It's actually a pretty smart move when you consider that it's not been a great year for those huge multi-state jackpots, all those billion-dollar Powerball runs we used to see. Not so much this year.
But even without those mega jackpots, IGT's numbers are looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, their revenue is up and their profit margins are strong. It's almost like the lottery business is recession-proof.
Well, their projected growth is what I'm really paying attention to. They're expecting things to keep going up, which says a lot about the stability of lotteries, even when the economy is uncertain. It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? You'd think people would cut back on lottery tickets when money's tight, but it seems like you're actually buying more.
It is counterintuitive. And
Yeah.
you know what else is counterintuitive? Italy. Their lottery is going crazy right now. They're seeing huge growth, and it's partly because of these clever new games. They have this €50 and €100 instant ticket where you're guaranteed to win either 50 or €100 on a €10 ticket.
That's a pretty good deal and a really smart strategy by offering a guaranteed win. They're attracting a whole new type of player. And IGP is taking notice. They're hoping to introduce similar games in other markets, which could really boost their U.S. and international sales.
It's like they found a winning formula, and now they're scaling it up. And speaking of scaling up, have you ever wondered what makes those giant jackpots go up and down so much? It can't just be luck, right?
No, definitely not. It's all about game structure. When they change things like they recently did with Mega Millions raising the ticket price to $5, that can have a huge impact on how fast the jackpots grow.
So it's all about probability and consumer psychology. And speaking of things that go up and down, let's talk about the stock market. When you invest in international stocks like IGT, you're not just investing in the company, you're also investing in the countries where they operate.
Right, you have to consider the politics, the economics, even the culture of a country. It all adds another layer of complexity and, frankly, a bit of excitement to investing. It's not just about numbers on a spreadsheet anymore. It's about understanding the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's about seeing the world through a different lens, and that's what we're all about here at Talk Tickers. So stay tuned, folks, because we're just getting started. All right, so you know what else adds another layer of complexity? Our This Is Not Financial Advice segment. We've got a bold, maybe even crazy trade idea for you involving Powerball and Mega Millions.
Okay, ready for this? What if you shorted Powerball tickets and went long on Mega Millions after that price hike?
Wait, whoa, hold on. Short Powerball. You mean bet against it? Explain yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Fewer people are going to want to play Mega Millions at first because it costs more, right? But that also means the jackpots are going to get bigger faster because there's less competition.
Okay, I'm starting to see where you're going with this. So the big spenders, the high rollers, they'll be all over those bigger Mega Millions jackpots. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. It's a gamble for sure, but sometimes fortune favors the bold.
All right, I get it. But let's be clear, everyone. This is just for fun, a thought experiment.
Sure.
Don't blame us if you lose your shirt trying this. We are not financial advisors, and this is definitely not investment advice.
Not at all. Pure speculation, just a fun idea.
Okay, good. Now back to IGT and their financials. Max Chiara, their CFO, went through the numbers on the call, and I gotta say, it was a lot of jargon. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. Basically, what they're highlighting is how strong their core lottery business is, even without those massive multi-state jackpots. They're focusing on things like gross profit SG&A and R&D spending to get a clearer picture of their operations.
So they're really embracing this whole pure play lottery company thing, even before the sale of their gaming and digital business is final. They're putting their money where their mouth is.
Exactly. They're optimizing their structure, cutting costs, and setting themselves up for long-term growth in lotteries. They even have a new organizational structure under Renato Ascoli, their CEO, focusing on things like international sales and their iLottery platform.
Sounds like they're serious about this transition. They're not just waiting for the sale to go through. They're shaping their future as a lottery company.
And they're doing it from a strong position. They talked about their strong balance sheet, low debt levels, and good cash flow. They're also going to pay down $2 billion of debt after the sale, which will make them even stronger financially.
So they're being responsible, too. That's impressive. You don't always see that these days, especially in the gaming and entertainment world.
And here's a key point. Most of their cash flow is coming from their continuing operations, which is basically their lottery business. This really shows how strong and attractive the lottery sector is. They're not just holding on to lotteries because they have to, they're strategically using them to grow their business.
It's pretty interesting. This company that used to be all about slot machines and digital gaming is now focused on scratch-offs and lotto balls. It's a total transformation.
And they're going all in on this transformation. They're investing in new technologies, expanding into new markets, and coming up with new and exciting lottery games.
It's a bold move. But you know what I admire? Their guts. They're not afraid to change and adapt, even if it means leaving behind what they were known for. It shows that sometimes you have to let go of the past to embrace the future.
Absolutely. And it seems like that's what IGT is doing. They're becoming leaner, more focused, and maybe even more profitable.
So what does all this mean for our listeners?
Yeah.
What are the key takeaways from this deep dive into IGT's earnings call?
Well, for one, it shows that the global lottery market is more dynamic and resilient than people think. It's not just about luck. There's a lot of strategy involved, from game design to jackpot management to the retailers who sell the tickets.
And it's global. IGT's success depends on the economies and cultures of countries all over the world, especially Italy, which seems to be doing incredibly well with lotteries. And IGP wants to do the same in other markets.
Right. Investing in international stocks isn't just about looking at a company's financials. You have to understand the bigger picture, the things that are shaping the market in those countries, like how people feel about gambling, the laws and regulations, and the overall economic outlook. All of these things can affect a company's success.
So as you think about your own investments, or even just as you think about the huge global lottery industry, remember that even in a world that's full of uncertainty and change, sometimes it's the simple things like buying a scratch-off ticket or dreaming of winning the jackpot that keep us going.
And who knows, maybe one day that dream will come true. Just remember, if you win big, we expect a cut.
Just kidding. Or are we? Okay, so we've talked a lot about IGT and their big move to focus on lotteries and how well they're doing financially. And of course, we had to throw in that wild trade idea just for fun. But as we wrap things up, what are the big takeaways here? What should our listeners be thinking about as they plan their investments or just think about the world of lotteries?
Well, the main thing is that the lottery business is a lot more complicated and interesting than it seems at first glance. It's not just about printing tickets and hoping for the best. There's a lot of strategy that goes into it, like designing the games, managing the jackpots, and even the network of stores that sell the tickets all over the world.
Yeah, it's like a huge, well-oiled machine with all these different parts working together. And it's not just happening in one place, it's a global thing. And speaking of global, we can't forget that IGT's success is tied to the economies and cultures of different countries, especially Italy. They're really killing it with their lottery, and IGP is hoping to do the same in other markets.
Italy's lottery is booming for a reason. They figured out how to make it work both with the games themselves and how they market them. And IGT is smart to try and copy that success in other places. It shows that investing in international companies is about more than just their financials. You have to understand how different markets and cultures work and how people behave as consumers.
It's like learning about global economics through a scratch-off ticket. Who knew lotteries could be so educational? But really, this is what we love about doing these deep dives. We get to really dig into a company, an industry, a global trend, and find all these hidden details and fascinating insights that you wouldn't find anywhere else.
And in the end, whether you're a serious investor or just someone who likes to buy a lottery ticket every now and then, there's something really appealing about the idea of beating the odds and achieving something that seems impossible.
It reminds us that even in a world that can feel ordinary and predictable, there's still room for a little bit of magic and hope, that feeling of what if that keeps us going. And that's what makes lotteries and even investing so interesting.
So as we wrap up today, we want to encourage you to keep learning, keep exploring, and keep dreaming. And maybe, just maybe one day, you'll hit that big jackpot, whether it's in the stock market or at your local store.
And if you do, don't forget about your friends at Talk Tickers. We're always happy to celebrate a big win and maybe give you some friendly advice on what to do with all that money. Just kidding.
Until next time, everyone, keep those lottery tickets handy. And remember, invest wisely, do your research, and most importantly, have fun.
This is Talk Tickers signing off.